Scotland's values under threat from hard right, John Swinney. What are Scottish values? Let's find out what they are. I'm sure John Swinney is very educated on the matter and definitely speaks for all Scottish people. First Minister John Swinney has said a gathering of political and civic leaders has started the process of protecting democratic values in Scotland. About 50 organisations, including political parties. Sorry, I lifted a little bit too much at the gym yesterday. No, I did. I'm sore. About 50 organisations, including political parties, faith groups, and charities, attended the forum in Glasgow. Now, I'm familiar with these types of forums, and see the types of people that attended, they are handpicked. They are handpicked. They goes, we need a bunch of head nodders. Quick, invite everyone that agrees with us. That's what they do. Swinney told the BBC that Scotland's shared values, again, I would like to know what they were under huge threat from disinformation and pressure from the hard right. Now, the fact that there seems to be a large enough group to give you concern in Scotland that does not share your values indicates that Scotland does not have shared values. It seems that Scottish people have multiple different values. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm being silly, or maybe John Swinney's being silly. But then again, he is a politician. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, whose party was previously linked to the far right by the First Minister, told BBC Scotland News they were at the centre ground of public opinion and were never part of the far right. He said the summit showed the great and the good of Scottish politics were running scared of his party, which was not invited to attend. Like I say, they make sure they only invite the head nodders. All Holyrood parties except the Conservatives attended the event. Scottish Labour leader Anas Sarwar, who attended the event, said that the Scottish government must... I love how... So basically, it's like, we need to prevent these people from destroying our shared values, and it seems that it always seems to be our political opponents, a good chunk of the country, our political adversaries that don't share this country's shared values. Okay, the fact that there is a huge chunk of the population that don't share your values indicates that Scotland does not have shared values. You're just trying to destroy political opposition. You're trying to be a tyrant. That's what you're trying to do. I'm kind of sick of losing elections. Wouldn't it be great if we could just ban all the other guys? That's what you're trying to do. Scottish leader... Oh, in fact, Did it? Did I read that? Who attended the event said that the Scottish Government must also take responsibility for failing to address the issues facing ordinary Scots. Who are ordinary Scots in Sarwar? Who are these ordinary Scots? Maybe we'll find out one day. When Swinney announced plans to hold the forum in February, he said parties had to unite to lock out the far right from Scottish politics. Name a single far right party in Scotland. Name one. Genuinely. Shut up. Shut up. Right. The Tories double shut up. They're fucking as left. They're almost as left wing as Labour and the rest of them. He specifically mentioned Reform UK, of course, which polls suggest could make an electoral breakthrough in Scotland in next May's Holyrood election. Reform insists it opposes far-right extremism. The party was not specifically... By we oppose far-right extremism means... No, we don't want to talk about the deportations. Oh, that's far right. Oh, we don't want to talk about them. Blah, fucking optics cock. The party was not specifically mentioned at the event, with 4 topics discussed: inequality and discrimination, media and misinformation, because only our information is the correct information. All the stuff pointing out the dodgy shit we are doing, that's actually misinformation. Shut up. Trust in politics. And democratic participation. So hold on, let's have a wee look here. Inequality and discrimination by trying to exclude an enormous amount of the population from the democratic process. Media and misinformation by basically saying that Scotland has shared values when the fact that there is a huge dissenting portion of the population suggests that you're spreading misinformation. Trust in politics, well, we've just caught you lying twice. And democratic participation by essentially banning people from taking part in the democratic process. Was this a giant lecture on hypocrisy? What the fuck was this event? I bet it cost the taxpayers a pretty penny, though. In an opening speech, the First Minister said the day was about talking and listening, but it also must be about acting. Wow, is the government going to do something? And that he hoped there would be a progress on a shared statement of principles regarding democratic debate. Okay, so were the far right allowed to come and say their piece? No, they weren't, were they? The far left were, yeah, they run the show now. They do. They're the new deep state. They run the show now. But anyone that's to the right of Mao Zedong, they're not allowed to take part. They're the filthy Nazis. He quoted the late Pope Francis by saying, "New paths." Brave thing to do in some parts of Scotland. He may be needed, and that those in attendance need to take collective responsibility to protect values and the attributes of our society. Again, what are these values and attributes, Swinney? What are they? He said, this gathering ultimately is about the quality of our democracy. It's not about symptoms, for example, how people choose to vote, but is very much about identifying and seeking to understand deeper causes. What, at a deeper level, is driving disenchantment and polarization? What's driving polarization? Maybe the fact that you ran an event with all your left-wing buddies and invited only yes men and excluded everyone else that didn't agree with it, didn't want to toe the party line. Your event itself caused polarization by not inviting the other people, the people that you see as the enemy, the people who are other valid political parties. You didn't invite them. What is driving the polarization between us and the evil people that should be murdered over there? Right? Like, you're fucking, I swear to God, I'm calling them an idiot. They know fine well what they're doing. Swinney added the issue was not Scotland specific, but a global one. Fucking hell, he said something correct for once. With anti-democratic forces and arguments gaining ground across the world. Good, because I fucking hate democracy. I hate democracy, and this is when you believe in fascism. You believe in fascism? No. I want the property that I own to be considered its own country because I'm sick of being at the behest of the political decisions of fucking idiots. That's why. I'm sick of every time there's a political vote, it's never in my fucking favour, but because I'm part of this country, I get dragged into it as well. Oh, what's that? That party get voted in again? Oh, cool. Oh, so I still have to pay taxes for police that don't turn up for 6 hours, take a statement, and then I never hear from them again, and for my bins to get collected every 3 weeks, and for my daughter's probably going to get raped if they decide to go out for a midnight stroll, and the person just gets away with it and won't be deported because they'll treat them so mean back home. Oh, we're going to war again. Oh, cool. My taxes are also going to drone strike children. That's fantastic. That's great. I love being part of this system. I love democracy. Right? Fuck democracy. Fuck democracy. I am sick of the trajectory of my life being dictated by people that are fucking idiots and read The Guardian. Right? Fuck democracy. Speaking of... Anyway, speaking after the event concluded, he rejected suggestions banning reform would play to the party's advantage. No, it'd be great, but it'd make us look really, really bad. A group of reform activists protested outside the summit, displaying placards that called Swinney and Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar democracy deniers for the decision not to invite their party. You know, the event where they were talking about what's causing this polarisation. Farage told the BBC, everyone's invited to discuss the far right. The only people not invited are Reform UK, and the implication of that is that the Scottish political establishment is scared of Reform UK and is subtly trying to say they're not here as they're what we fear. Farage added that a representative from Reform who do not have any MSPs would have attended the meeting if invited. He said he had done more to knock back the far right in British politics than anyone else alive, citing Reform taking support away from the British National Party in the north of England. Liz Lloyd, who was Chief of Staff to Nicola Sturgeon when she was First Minister, said Swinney's focus on Reform UK when he called the summit in February was not helpful. Miss Lloyd told the BBC's Scottcast podcast, I'm thinking back to this being announced around the time Trump was coming into power, there were a lot of questions about the nature of democracy, and I think that's where it took off with this reform focus. We love democracy, except when it doesn't go our way. We're going to have little meetings where we invite only people that toe the party line to discuss the future of democracy so we can make sure it always goes our way. Democracy, you know, where the people get to decide what they want, except that's not what they want. They want to decide what the people want for them. That's called a dictatorship, by the way. Remember how I've always says democracy eventually will turn into authoritarianism because the government will keep doing that technique of creating a problem, blaming something else for the problem, saying, oh, we can totally fix this problem that we caused, but all you have to do is give us more power in the process. And every single time, everybody fucking falls for it, and new laws get passed, and eventually the government gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until, hey, these other parties, we kind of don't like them. Wouldn't it be handy if we could just have a one-party state? And there you are, it's not a democracy anymore. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to ban a whole other side of the political hemisphere. That's what they're trying to ban. We're sick of losing. People keep pointing out all the dodgy stuff that we're doing. It's making me really mad. Everyone keeps calling me a tyrant. So I'm going to respond by making these people illegal, right? Fuck off. I wonder if they've realised that this is not helpful, because if you want to tackle the issues that perhaps drive people to far-right voting or to sort of community division, as opposed to coming together, you actually need to not talk about the political parties. You need to talk about the concerns that are pushing them there. And the people that are in the far-right or the right wing or the conservatives have been screaming at the government for a decade saying, hey, we have all of these problems, and the government just keeps saying, shut up, racist. Shut up, bigot. Here's why your problems are invalid. Also, P.S. you're white. Who asked? Right? That's what we've been getting for like the last decade. So everyone's like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Who radicalized these people? You did.